And what we'll do in part 2 and part 3 is really deepen your knowledge and the way that you can expand your network and your branding and referrals through LinkedIn. So again, you can expect us to do the basics. What we'll cover up front will be how to do your photo. Make sure your photo is very, very appealing. Next thing we'll focus on is your headline. The headline is huge, huge importance in LinkedIn, making sure of who you serve, who you're going after, and what do you actually do versus the title of loan officer. We're going to improve on your industry experience, show you how to make some tips and give you some tips there. Talk about the positions you've held previous to the position you hold now. Really touch briefly on a description, touch on your education, and then we'll give you some ideas and tips to really, really work the skills. If you look at LinkedIn and you look at the way people can endorse you, we'll talk about improving that overall look and make it much more appealing as people come in and view your LinkedIn profile. We'll talk about connections. What I want you to focus on is take really, really good notes. So what I want you to do is the packet that we sent out to you, make sure that you're taking very detailed notes, and once the webinar is complete, 1 hour after this webinar is done, we will actually send you the PowerPoint. What I would strongly recommend is print out the PowerPoint and then bring up your LinkedIn profile, and you'll be able to make any changes to the profile then. So again, this is really instruction only. What I'm going to do is give you tips and techniques on how to change your LinkedIn profile page, make it much more appealing, and then after, it's kind of like your homework, I guess is the way to look at it. Your homework will be to print out the PowerPoint that we send to you 1 hour later after this webinar, and then step by step have that PowerPoint script in front of you, and you'll be able to make the changes. A little bit about my background. You need to know who I am. Again, my name is Roger Ilsley. I've been involved in sales training since approximately 1990 with various companies. You may have heard of Hallmark Cards, Sara Lee Knit Products, which is here in Winston-Salem and is now Hanes, formerly RMIC. I was a trainer for RMIC here in Winston. And then a brief stint in almost 4 years at USAA. Those of you with a military connection would certainly know of USAA. I did relationship sales there. And Essent Guarantee, been here since December of 2013, just had my 3-year anniversary. And basically my job is very simple. I interact with our business development group, our sales reps, and work with their customers on sites 2 weeks a month, and then 2 weeks a month, exactly what we're doing right now, webinars, and then actually designing webinars. So let's talk about expectations. Number one, let's have some fun. LinkedIn is a fun activity. There is ways I'm going to teach you how you can drive sales, get referrals, a great way to make you being a loan officer better every single day. We're all trying to get better. Second thing is I'd love you to participate, and again, channel your questions through, and we will try to answer those questions as quickly as we can. And then the third thing is 0% about me and 100% about you. Make your LinkedIn page, your profile page, better. So every single one of us has a responsibility to get better every day. So my challenge to you, my gauntlet throwing down, is get better with LinkedIn. Learn as much as you can through this PowerPoint presentation. Take really, really good notes. And again, after this webinar, I would challenge you to go in and make the subtle changes to your LinkedIn. What I want to focus on is right here, this one word, All-Star. This is a rating system that LinkedIn has, and we are going to try our best with tips and techniques to get you to that point. So let's jump in and let's begin. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put my legal voice on, and I'm going to read you the information at the bottom. The information contained in these materials is provided in good faith, and every reasonable effort was made to ensure that it is accurate. Accordingly, this information is provided as is, without warranty or obligation, to provide updated information. Any person relying on or making use of any of the information contained herein shall do so at their own risk. Essent makes no representation or warranty of any kind, express or implied, as to the suitability, adequacy, accuracy, or completeness of the information included in these materials. And Essent hereby disclaims any liability and shall not be held liable for any damages arising, directly or indirectly, from the use of the information contained in these materials, including damages arising from inaccuracies, omissions, or errors. Okay, so the legal part of this is completely done. So what I want to do is provide you with a foundation on becoming successful on LinkedIn. And I'm going to make this personal. My LinkedIn journey really started in 2009 in January, where I had 6 connections. I now have over 1,500. Now, I may not be a loan officer, but I certainly know the power of LinkedIn and how to have a foundation. So what we're going to be discussing is the ways to increase your foundation and get better and better with your LinkedIn presence. Next, we're going to talk about what does a complete profile actually mean. So we'll actually take you through the steps, and at the end of the PowerPoint, we'll have a list of 7 items, and we'll challenge you to say, okay, we've covered most of these items. We'll actually show you a visual, and then you can take a look at your LinkedIn profile and say, okay, how do I rank up? And again, we'll teach you a way that you can look at this and say, okay, this looks much, much better than when I started. And then let's talk about the power of LinkedIn. The power of LinkedIn as a networking and a sales tool. So again, as you come into this workshop today, I want you to think a little bit differently. If you're not using LinkedIn, like this third bullet shows, there is a tremendous power in LinkedIn where you can get referrals, and people will be looking at your LinkedIn profile. So let's talk about the series. You're going to partake right now in part 1, and again, this is called LinkedIn for Beginners. And earlier I talked about the different phases and things that we'll be discussing. Okay, so our goal is to provide you with the tips and the ways that you can improve your LinkedIn profile. Part 2 is going to go a little bit deeper dive. So in that webinar, we'll be learning and teaching you the ways to find the right people. So for example, realtors, financial planners, CPAs will be digging deeper to your search. How do you search and build meaningful relationships on LinkedIn? And then in part 3, very simple. Learn how to engage, share insights to grow your network and become a trusted resource. Any questions before I proceed? And I'm going to have you answer field the questions if you wouldn't mind, because my screen has gone full blown PowerPoint, which is fine. All right, I'm going to ask a couple of questions, and let's see how we do with the questions. If you wouldn't mind helping me out with these questions. So, first question is, why LinkedIn? Why LinkedIn of all the social media that is available to you as a loan officer? So let's talk about the first bullet. It's a huge reason why you would want to be involved in LinkedIn. How many people do you think worldwide are involved in LinkedIn? If you wouldn't mind helping me out with the responses, let's see how this group does. Let's see how good you are. Worldwide, how many millions of people are on LinkedIn? And we've got any answers coming in? Worldwide, how many people are registered and using LinkedIn? Have any responses? If not, I will charge ahead. 467 million registered members on LinkedIn. And of that group, 133 million happen to be in the United States. So think about the potential of 133 million people. Think about where you live, whatever metropolitan area you live in, whatever town you live in the U.S. Tremendous, tremendous opportunity. 40% of users check LinkedIn daily. So do the math. That's millions of people. 40% of 133 million are on their LinkedIn page every single day checking it. And then lastly, last quarter, 2016, the first quarter, a year ago, 45 billion page views. So people are definitely looking into LinkedIn. And I want to touch real quick on this third bullet. What we're going to talk about in a few minutes is how you can change your URL. I'll show you a very simple step on how you can change that. And LinkedIn is very closely associated with Google. So if somebody goes into Google and Googles your name, or if somebody goes into LinkedIn and puts your name in, you want to make sure that your name comes across what? Very quickly. You don't want to get lost in the shuffle. So we'll show you a way to improve that also. So let's talk about building your brand. If you look at that first bullet, do Do you believe that you are building a brand? Are we getting any answers to those previous questions?
Roger, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, it looks like the presentation isn't moving along, and I show people answering the questions on my end.
Okay. All right.
We show the first screen, LinkedIn for Beginners, Tips to Becoming an All-Star.
Okay. And I just moved it there. I read the second screen come in.
No, we don't see it moving.
Okay. All right. I apologize. So let me go back. Let me just look at what needs to be connected here. How about now? Do you see it moving now?
No, we
Say
don't
before.
have anything on my end. Let me try something.
Okay. Because I clicked on the button that said, transfer the rights over to me at the beginning.
Yeah, I think we're going to try that again.
Yeah.
Okay, bear with us.
Sure. Sure. Sorry about that. I thought it was going forward. Okay.
Okay, we see your screen now and your mouse is moving.
Perfect. Okay. Very good. All right. Excellent. Sorry about that, everybody. So we talked about that. All right. Just bringing myself up to speed. So let's talk about building your brand. So let me start with some questions here. So those of you on the call today, are you a brand? Just give me a quick yes or no. Do you believe that when you wake up to hit the road, you are truly a brand? Yeah, for sure. You're definitely a brand. So I challenge you to think, why would LinkedIn even matter to you? Well, if you're a brand and there's 133 million people in the U.S. registered on LinkedIn, members, then they can definitely probably help you out, right? How about your reputation? Is your reputation very valuable to you as a loan officer? It should be, right? It definitely. Your reputation is what? Is your gold card, right? And how about this? Nothing beats free. Right? Think about this. It has dramatically changed the way recruiters in the United States recruit people for all types of jobs. So it's known, LinkedIn has been known, especially the last few years, for what? It's a free tool for not only generating leads and referrals, but also what? Recruiting. But generating leads, and it's free. So think about the power of that right there. Is absolutely amazing. Let's talk about some realtors. Do all of you deal with realtors? Give me a quick yes if you deal with realtors, trying to get business from realtors. Yeah. So I'm going to be Roger Realtor for the next couple of minutes, all right? Let's have some fun. So look at this. Amazing stat. 91% of all realtors use social media, all right? Let's drill down a little bit deeper. 75% of realtors use LinkedIn for business purpose. So you're going to call on me, and I'm Roger Realtor. Well, guess what? I'm going to look you up on LinkedIn. That would be the first thing 3 out of 4 what realtors are going to do before you walk in to see me tomorrow if I gave you an appointment. So the stats are absolutely amazing. Look at this next one. 90% of home buyers start their search online, National Association of Realtors. How many of you look at that at least once or twice a week, NAR, or possibly daily? Anybody looking at NAR? If you're not, I strongly suggest that you look at it. There's amazing information there. So what do those numbers have potential for you? What's the win for you? Why would this matter for you? Huge numbers of realtors are very, very involved in LinkedIn, right? Is that a benefit to you as a loan officer, no matter where you are? It's a huge, huge, huge benefit. Let's talk about goals. So before we jump in and dive in, let's talk about your goals. What would be some of your goals for LinkedIn? We're on this beginning course. And even if you haven't thought about this a lot, let's think about it now. What would be a really good goal for you to have for LinkedIn? Throw some out to me. Anybody? What would be a good goal? So you've got your profile. You're a member now of LinkedIn. Now what? Now what do you do? So what would be a goal for you as a loan officer? Very good. Let me try to read that. You've given me, not really sure how we linked in. Yeah, you know what? You just said a perfect way to intro this. Not really sure how LinkedIn works. I guess a lot of connections. Get my name out there, recruit, realtors, yes, contacts. You are all touching on some very, very important things, but it's not the number of people you have, it's what? The influence that those people have. And in series 2, part 2 and 3, we're going to dive really deep into that. Because I would agree with you, I'm assuming that's Jeff. I see just J-E-F. But bottom line is, it's not just the contacts, it's what are you doing with them. So let me throw out some ideas to you. What about being visible? So for example, if I'm Roger Realtor and I checked you out the night before an appointment and I saw that you had no photo, right? Well, first of all, 90% of us want to see a photo when we go online for any product or service, especially a $200,000 mortgage, or in some of the places that you guys live, even higher than that. So would visibility be something? You want to be visible to what? All these people in your metropolitan area where you live. How about this one? Impression. You never get what? A second chance to make that first impression. So if your LinkedIn profile is impressive and kind of lures me in that I want to stay longer, you're in what? Much, much better shape. And then the third thing, branding opportunity. You get an opportunity to brand yourself. So again, those are just 3 right there, and you guys already came up with some great ones. Very much appreciate. And the person who said, getting my name out there, recruit realtors. I meet lots and lots of people, loan officers and realtors, and what I'm fascinated with is that you can never have enough realtors, is what I hear nationwide. If you've got 2 or 3 or 5 that you're dealing with, 10 would be better. Or if you've got 10, then 12 would be better. So now let's look at another couple of reasons of why LinkedIn would be good for you. In fact, let's do a level set. So on this polling question, what I'd like you to do is take a look and answer the question, and let's chat about it. How do you currently use social media? Is it A, B, C, D, E, or F? And if you select F, it's other. Give me some examples of what you mean by other. So throw some letters out to me as you scan those real quick. A all the way to F. What are you currently using for social media? Well, how do you currently use it? B, yeah. Connect with peers. Excellent. Thank you very much. And we got a C, yep, and a D. Very, very, very good. So what's excellent about LinkedIn, it's all different types of things. For me, my first experience, all. Very good. Thank you. My first experience was right here with the C, was job seeking. And now it's changed through the years to what? I want to stay informed about news and trends, right? I also want to connect with my peers. And I do a lot of research to make sure that I'm telling you the right thing on a webinar or a face-to-face. Very, very good. Anybody else? Anybody else want to jump in? These are all very valuable things to think about when you think about LinkedIn. And again, the connections are absolutely fantastic. And I'm with a lot of loan officers month to month. I'm fascinated. Everybody wants to get to the 500 level. But I would challenge you and say, well, what are those 500 doing? How many referrals are you getting from those 500 people? Let's jump into the basics. So if you look at those 3 things that are on that slide, you have to have a very good photo. Now, I'm going to ask another question. How many of you have a photo on your present LinkedIn, your LinkedIn profile right now? If I went to check you out after this workshop, I would see your, yeah, very good. A lot of yeses. Great. Excellent. Very, very good. So the photo is absolutely primo when it comes to having a good profile. 90-something% of us are visual. How about the headline? Let's talk about a strong headline. That is something that is so powerful with LinkedIn. Most people think of a headline as, I'm a loan officer and I work at XYZ Mortgage. I'm a loan originator. So we come up with phrases that what? Describe the job we do. But it's really more of how do you help people? What do you really do? And then this one, compelling summary. If you don't have a compelling summary, no matter who is touching that profile and coming in to look at it, they're not going to stay very long. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you very, very quickly going to use mine as an example, my photo, okay? So there we've got my smiley little face up there, right? Professional photo. Fills up the screen. Now, I will be honest with you. I've got this word expert from LinkedIn. About a year and a half ago, made a connection with people in the financial services side of LinkedIn in New York. And they actually coached me through this. Felt very queasy using the word expert. But if you think about it, if you've been a loan officer 1 year, 5 years, 10 years, you truly are the expert. So your headline should say more than the job that you do. And so there's an example of a headline. Next, we're going to cover a summary. Summary should be short, compelling, right to the point. So what do I do as a, let me go back, apologize. What do I do as a training person? Right here, 2 words. I deliver workshops, either live or right now, webinars. And there's my 4 things that I do very, very well, or try to. So let's analyze my photo. So if you think about the professional photo, it's got to answer some of these questions, right? Does it fill the frame? Yes, it does. So we got a check mark there. Do I have a basic background? It's not too busy, so it passes the test there. And it's the proper size, 4 pixels by 400, 400 by 400. So voila. In my example, I passed the test. Here's the better test. If you have a profile with a photo, 14 times more views than without. So think about that. Everybody on this call, would you like to get more views on your LinkedIn, more hits, people looking at your LinkedIn and saying, hey, I was recommended to see this person's profile and learn more about them by somebody, am I going to stay and get more information? So let me ask all of you, have all of you got a very good photo, professional photo? And again, you don't need to spend a lot of money. You can go to a place that has that does passport photos. You can use your iPhone. You can use your Samsung. Just make sure that this background isn't too busy, that the background overtakes you in the photo. Okay? Very, very, very simple. Here's some don'ts, and I see hundreds and hundreds of LinkedIns every week, and I'm actually fascinated is that there's a lot of don'ts. There's thousands of people that don't have a photo. So think about this. The average person is going to what? Go into your profile, and if they don't see the photo, they're probably going to what? Get out. They'll be gone, okay? So make sure you have the photo. Don't show the picture of your family. Now that's a beautiful looking family, but that's more for Facebook and not for LinkedIn. Also, unless you're a vet, don't show your pet. All right, I'm just amazed how people show pets on their LinkedIn. LinkedIn is for business, and if you want referrals, I wouldn't be showing my pet on my LinkedIn. Just an idea. Also, you may love your team at work that you work with. Please don't show that on your LinkedIn photo either. It should be a basic professional photo of you. Now, let's switch to the headline. The headline to me is very, very critical. After the photo, it's the number 2 thing that people look at. So I want you to think about this. So who do you help? So let me ask you that as a question. So who do you help? As a loan officer, who are you helping? Who are the people that you help? It's your customers, right? It's the people that what? The buyers, the people that fill out the 1003, the consumers, right? The realtors. Exactly. You guys are doing great. That's exactly what you do. Number 2, how do you help them? How do you help them? So what I want you to start thinking in your brain is what are the different things that I do? I get them in houses, right? I get them in condos. It could be a what? Could be a farm property, right? And then third thing you have to answer in your headline is, who are you? So who do you help? How do you help them? And then the final thing is, who are you? Okay? So we're going to use mine as an example. So let's jump into it. So do I have a strong headline? Let's see. So who do I help? I help loan officers. If you look at my statement in my LinkedIn, my goal is to what? Help loan officers. That is my goal. Let's take another question. So how? How do I do it? Through what? Through sales training, relationship sales, organizational skills. That's the how. And then the last question is, who am I? And again, this came from LinkedIn. This was coaching from LinkedIn. I'm an expert. I've got almost 30 years in training people. And then here's the scary piece. This next piece is very scary. Average person takes 9 seconds to view your profile. So let me ask you, does that seem like a long time? 9 seconds? What do you guys think? 9 seconds is a very, very short amount of time. So think, yeah, they got to know there. Yeah, think about this as a what? It's a headline from a newspaper. If your headline doesn't grab my attention and pull me in, I'm not going to what? Read more things about you. I won't even get to the summary if I look at your headline and I'm bored. So think about that. Very, 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 very powerful. The impact, it's either going to make me stay on your profile, want more, or leave. So create interest by having a what? Intriguing profile. So that's what we're going to talk about is how can you make your headline intriguing, your summary. Next we're going to jump to the summary in a few moments. Share your story. So what do you do? I want to challenge every single person on this call. It really truly is about you telling a story rather than listing what your job is. So tell your story. Get people in homes. Provide funding for your dream home. Something along those lines. I'm going to give you some examples. Feel free to use these. These are just my examples. Would you agree that the keys, the set of keys that is shown on this slide, this is what I go through the mortgage process for? Would you agree? Those of you that take the 1003 applications, probably never enough every month, right? Think about that. That's what that person is going through this process for, right? Is getting all the proper information to you so the loan can what? Get closed at the closing table. Another example, provide those what? Those keys. And then a third one, get their what? Their perfect home. Now their perfect home in their 20s or 30s may be different than later on, but hopefully you'll get the referrals. Does this make more sense to actually have a what? A headline that talks about what you actually do? Anybody want to chime in? Does this make more sense versus putting your title as a loan officer? It's really who are you, what do you do, who do you help? Does that make more sense? Give me a yes if anybody does. Yes, how you can help them. Very, very good. Excellent. So again, I want you to think a little bit differently as you, once this workshop is over and you start making these changes, think how that person, that client, that potential customer is looking at you, and they want to know what, how you're going to get them to the keys, get keys to their property. So again, think about this. There's millions of people that have what? LinkedIn profiles. You've got to think what's going to make mine different, okay? Very, very, very simple. Just putting down mortgage loan officer, loan specialist, putting your title, professional, that is not going to what? Get their attention. I would also challenge you to look at other loan officers, your competition. Take a look at their LinkedIn profiles and see what appears in theirs. Now, we're going to talk about Larry Z. Smith. We made this person's name up, and as you can see, he's got his photo there, but we're going to try to help him out. So I want your eyes to focus down here, where he starts talking. This is his headline, right? My expertise, easy for me to say, and specialties include. So guys, scan that really quick, please, if you wouldn't mind. So what do you think? How can we improve Larry Smith, the loan officer? How can we improve that? Any suggestions based on what we've talked about so far? Anybody? So first of all, do you like that format? The way he has it lined up like that? So again, I want you to start thinking differently. No, I'm getting a no with an exclamation. Yeah, it's too much data. I agree that it tells a story, but by the way, wouldn't you expect him to be up to date on current and lending requirements? A lot of words, exactly. Too many words. Bullets, bullets, bullets. Think about this. Less is more when it comes to your LinkedIn profile. Tell me exactly, if you remember mine had 4, okay? 4 different bullets on what I do. Again, I'm going to use a lot of my 9 seconds by what? By reading this, okay? And again, some of these things, extensive and expertise, seem very, very similar to me. So every single word counts. So whoever's saying this, is it Les or Leslie? Whoever said this is exactly right. Watch what you do. So again, if you think about it should be like a billboard, exactly right. Perfect, absolutely perfect. Make sure it's like a billboard, a headline grabs your attention. So we're going to switch to mine as an example. And again, I was very fortunate to get coached by LinkedIn on this. Is very much what? Deliver workshops. What can you expect from Roger? That's what I do. I deliver workshops. Next, what are the topics that you can expect from me? Right here. There they are. Simple, straightforward, right to the point, okay? So this is very, very, very simple versus what? Having all the data that we looked at here, right? Keep it very, very simple and straightforward, okay? Too many bullets. How many of you have seen this in, not just in LinkedIn, but in all types of social media? There's too much going on. People tend to what? Make it like War and Peace. Way too much info, which is exactly what you guys have been saying about this. Provide not enough information, right? Too scanty. And then some people just what? Leave it blank. What's wrong with this one? Here's an example here. I want you guys to pick this one apart. Anybody can see anything on this one? We just talked about this, right? Way, way too many. I was lost at the fourth bullet. Thank you very, very much. Exactly. Say something. Some say the same. Yeah, exactly right. And I think the challenge that some of us have when we're creating a summary is we want to put the kitchen sink in there, and we should be very, very, very careful that we only want to have, what, 3 or 4 things that we want to really, it's way too much. Now, I need your help here. I want you to start thinking and analyzing. I'm going to give you a few seconds. I would like you to read this first paragraph and then read these bullets. Okay, so what kind of feedback do you all have for this now? So think about this. You've got a whole paragraph here of information, and then you've got 4 very distinct bullets here on a summary of what this loan officer does. So which one of you like the paragraph? Anybody like the paragraph? Give me a yes if you like the paragraph. Yeah, it's too long. How many of you like the bullets? Just give me a B for bullets. Make life easy for you. Yeah, definitely B. So here's what I want you to think about. As you start putting it together, your summary is what is better? Well, what is better is what? Bullets. Less is more, short, right to the point. I would even get, yes, very good. Whoever said that is exactly right. Who said neater? Appears neater. Yes, very, very good. Better, but it should be up to date if they are, yeah, very, very good. Also, I would even challenge expertise and specialties. You can make that shorter. So again, as you take a look at yours after this workshop, is think about what do you want the world to see? Think about that. Because anybody can check out your LinkedIn. Once you're out there, you're out there. So do you want the paragraph, right, which goes on, or do you want the short, right to the point? Now, I need to give a disclaimer. So I've been working on this workshop, getting this ready. And what happened January 19th, LinkedIn launched a new format. So not knowing what your formats are, here's how this is going to work. I'm going to show you in this format the new format. What we will include in the PowerPoint that we will send to you, and it's very, very simple. There's only a couple extra slides that will show you the old format, okay? So hopefully that'll make it very, very, needs consumer language. Thank you. I just caught that. My eyeballs just caught that. So what we're going to do now is we're going to segue, and we're going to start talking about your URL. And then I want to talk about the benefit of the URL for you. So I'm going to show you mine and Larry's. There's mine first. So what I want to explain to you very, very simply is when you go back and you're working on your individual profile, what you will find is if you've not made any changes to your URL, I'm just making an assumption here that you have not, instead of having a URL with your name at the end, like you see my name here, okay, what you have from LinkedIn is right in front of your name, right here where it says in, are numbers. So basically what you have to do, and I'll show you the next couple of slides, is change your URL to the from the standard to what? To your name. So let me show you. Here's Larry. We've already helped him out. And again, what you're doing here is very, very, very simple and straightforward, okay? So if you go back and you bring up your LinkedIn and you see this as the top menu bar, that's the old format pre-January 19th, okay? So what I'm going to do is walk you through this. The only difference, let me show you very, very simple. The new format, it's very, very simple. It has 4 words. Please write these down. Edit your public profile. Edit your public profile. Write that down in your notes. So again, this is the older format, the version I'm showing you here. Very, very simple. You go to your public profile. You make the change here. You take the numbers, which are right in here where it says IN, and then you very, very simply save it. So again, the only difference with the new format is 4 words. Edit your public profile. Save it, and your public. Now the win for you is if somebody says you need to contact Roger Ilsley, loan officer. What happens is I Google Roger Ilsley, and guess what? Goes right to your LinkedIn page, your profile page. Now, that is only very good if your LinkedIn page is what? Very much up to speed. So now let's talk about some other things. We've talked about your profile photo, how critical your profile photo is. Now what we're going to discuss in the next few minutes is your industry and location. Then we're going to talk about taking the description of your job, right, your job that you currently hold now, and maybe making some nuances to that, okay? Talk about how simple it is to show you what? Past 2 positions you've had. Education, we'll touch on that very, very briefly. And then your skills. Very, very simply, those are endorsements. How many of you have endorsements that people have endorsed you? Give me a quick yes. If out on your LinkedIn page, if I went to check it out, I would see some endorsements. Anybody got endorsements? Great. Can never have enough endorsements, right? And then the last thing, have at least 50 connections. How are you guys doing? I know this is a beginner session, but how are you doing with endorsements so far? Do you have people that have endorsed you and you've got at least 50 connections, right? At least 50. All right, let's dive in and give you some more tips, more than 50. Excellent, excellent. What's amazing about LinkedIn is it stops at 500, and all it says is 500 with a little plus sign, okay? So here's the amazing thing about LinkedIn. Users with complete profiles 40 times more likely to receive opportunities through LinkedIn. So there's your incentive. No other incentive than that. 40 times more likely to get opportunities, referrals through LinkedIn. Think about that. So if you invest the time, it's like return on investment. Think about every week as a loan officer. Every Friday night you look back and say, how did my week go? You know, I took 3 applications. I took 2. I lost a loan, right? You look back. You need to look back at your LinkedIn profile and make sure that it's providing you with the opportunities that you deserve. So what we're going to do is we're going to touch these one by one. And what I want you to do is think and take really good notes as far as how you could improve. So number 1, up in the top left, is where we talked about the photo. So I want you to challenge yourself and look at your photo, make sure the background's fine. I'll give you a personal example. I had a lousy photo till about 1.5 years ago. And I had a background that was from a beach on the East Coast. Terrible, absolutely terrible. So what I did was I went ahead and made a change, made a professional photo, and I can see the impact of more people coming to my profile. It's that simple. And here's what's great. So once you're in your profile, if you look here for myself, obviously I'm in the Greensboro, Winston-Salem area, professional training and coaching, that's number 2. So that's the position I hold right now. Here's what's great. If you look right here, there's my headline. So the headline, as you can see, is right at the top. You've got to spend some time. Make that headline as intriguing as you can. And don't worry about your job because it's going to be what? Right down here. And by the way, there it is there. Current. And as long as you've plotted this in, okay, you've got your previous jobs. Then have your eyeballs come down here. Experience. Many, many people will come in to your profile. They'll look at your photo. They'll look at your headline. Chances are the summary, and they might get to experience. So think about this. The odds are that you might get them for the 9 seconds. They're going to scan very, very quickly, right? And then right here, what's your job right now? Very simple, right to the point. I have just 1 sentence on what I do. That's my life right there. And there's a couple of recommendations. By the way, these are powerful. We're going to spend a lot more time in Part 2 and Part 3. Again, this is just the basics, so we'll spend more time and come back for Session 2 and Part 3. And then after 3, we talked about 4, was making sure you have your previous jobs. 5, I've got my college from, by the way, it's in Boston, in case you hadn't noticed. So your education is in there. And then we talked about skills. The more skills you have listed, and the higher, it stops at 99, by the way. It's 99 plus, just like here. See where it says connections? Once you get to 500, it's 500 plus. Okay. Very, very, very simple and straightforward. Now, your current position, there are some people that would want more information about your current job. So I would make it powerful. I would talk about responsible monthly loan production and produced what? 40% increase in business with both customers, right? Then also I want to defer down here. Check with your company's social media policy or guideline for using social media. So again, there's the disclaimer there. You've got to be very, very cautious and mindful of what your company is going to allow you to do with LinkedIn. Any questions about that, about taking your experience and bulking it up a little bit? It's obviously the time. I want to know the time you've had, but also what? Responsible. Any comments or questions about that? Make sure you have a accountable, responsible, right? Delivered, very powerful wording. Would you agree that helps? Again, you've only got a few seconds for me as the customer/consumer to look at you. Any comments on that? Would you agree? Just make that verbiage as powerful as you can. Think of words, power words. And again, on the experience, I've got some examples here for you, okay? So some people here, there's the 40% increase. There's a person that tends to what? Explain. What do you guys think about this one here? Showing the experience. Is less more? Again, these are just for examples for you to see. Again, tell your experience. Never, ever make it like a resume. Has anybody gone out to see some LinkedIn profiles and it reminds you of a resume? Anybody viewed some like that? Yeah. And what does it do? To me, it's kind of a turnoff. You know, resume is almost a thing of the past now. So think about this. I do not want my LinkedIn profile, and it's very excellent. Thank you very much. You're exactly right. It is very, very old school. So what's wrong here? All I'm doing here is showing you some dates, right? So I was a loan officer, and here's the dates when I was a loan officer. What's wrong with that, right? What am I missing here? So you know I was a loan officer. You know the dates I was at this XYZ, right? What am I missing? What did I do when I was there? So for example, here I just have a date. I sold what? Residential mortgages to customers. What did you do at that job, right? And it doesn't have to be more than those 4 words. Simple, straightforward, all right? Very, very easy. And again, we talked about the skill of having all kinds of endorsements on there. So think about this. What I want you to consider is endorsing your connections, your really good business associates. Also, what prompts them to do it for you, return the favor. Has anybody done that? Who's gone out and actually looked at some of your really good business associates and actually done the click, done the plus? Has anybody done that? It's the old give before you before you receive. It's like give a referral first before you ask for one, right? Has anybody gone out and endorse some of their friends out there on LinkedIn? Yeah. Okay. Very, very good. Excellent. Excellent. And then also people who list skills on their profile, 13 more times more views, 13 times more. That is a lot of people, right? So what I want you to consider is the power of what? Showing those skills, and then what? Helping some of your friends out, and absolutely going out and taking maybe once I have a really good loan officer friend in San Diego, and he gives me great ideas, and he said that at least once a week he goes to his LinkedIn. He's a producing branch manager in the San Diego area, and he said, then I recommend, I actually take the time to recommend somebody and take the time to what? To do some endorsing, okay? Now, what does this all mean for you, and how can you make it really specific? So what I want you to do is in your notes, I want you to I want you to write these letters here for the link. Write this whole link down, and after this session, I want you to click on it, go on to LinkedIn and click on it, and your social selling dashboard will come up. So let me explain what the social selling dashboard is all about. So if you think about it, if you do the things we've suggested today, you're actually off to a great start. You've actually got a better profile by having the better photo, having a very distinct headline versus there's 300,000 LOs in the United States. Yours is now going to be what, a little bit different than everybody else's, right? So as you continue to grow your profile and make it stronger and stronger, what is a really good indication of your profile is SSI. And so what I've done is I've gone in and I've showed you what mine looks like. So I'm very, very proud of this. And what it does is it ranks you in 4 distinct areas. So if you look down here, establish your professional brand. So think about this. If I'm a consumer and I get recommended to any one of you on this call, so I want to be able to go to your LinkedIn profile and you are branded. I see your photo. It's very, very clear. I see that you are very, very good with what? Your headline. So you're making a brand. You're making what? An impression. Next is what we're going to talk about in actually the second session is finding the right people, and it ranks you, and then engage with insights. And you can see from my perspective, this is mine, this is what I pride myself on, is building relationships. And so to me, this has become second nature. You're not going to become an all-star. You're not going to get to the top 2% of all LOs overnight. It is a process, and you have to work at it. Is anybody interested in seeing further down what else you can see in here? I have one more step I could click on here and show you the depth of what this report goes into. We have a little bit of time. Anybody want to see it? Okay, let me show you how simple this is. And again, when you go back to your LinkedIn, when you bring up your LinkedIn profile, this is as simple as this. I'm going to go in here, and it's going to ask me for my password. And now let me show you the depth of this form. I like going, I don't go in here, probably once a week I go in, and you can see down below how it charts it. Very, very, very powerful stuff. So it tells you how you rank. For me, obviously it's a trainer, and then how you rank nationwide. So it gives you a tremendous, tremendous opportunity to see what's going on. Okay. Again, that's a really good way to challenge yourself with your SSI. And again, that exact link right there, when you go into LinkedIn and you type that in, your SSI will come up. And again, don't expect to be way on the right on any of these columns. You may be more on the left-hand side, and that's fine. The great news is you can get better and better with your SSI, and it's kind of like, especially in sales, we're all very competitive, and it gives you a way to look at. I'll give you an example. So I'm looking at mine, and I'm lowest in these two. Well, how can I improve? How can I make myself better? I'm not engaging as I should be. And what's neat is over here, oops, it's not live here, but these colors actually coordinate here. So again, you can go into your individual one, and again, maybe once a week or once every 2 weeks, go in and check your SSI and see how you compare to other LOs. Again, just a very, very simple, very, very easy. You can also share this. If you clicked on here where it says share your SSI, you could click on that when it's live on your LinkedIn, and you could share that with what? Your whole group. So if you have 450 connections, every one of your connections would see that. We'll spend a lot more time kind of going deeper with this in Section 2 and Section 3 as we advance our way down with LinkedIn. So I'm going to open this up and talk about what we've covered. We covered the photo in detail. We talked about the intriguing headline. We talked about ways to improve, your profile, and then make your experience stand out a little bit more. Any questions? Hang on one second. I think I've got a question right here. Should you connect with anyone that asked to connect? Jeff, you are asking a great question. I'm going to give you my theory. So I had 6 connections in 2009. I now have 1,550. So I am somewhat discreet with who I connect to. I try to connect with somebody in the mortgage business. Now, I do have of my 1,500 today, I have a few that are obviously personal friends, people that I've met. But I really try to focus in on, is this person in the mortgage business? Does this person have anything to do with training and development that I could learn from? So I guess I'm somewhat prejudiced. I meet thousands of people a year, and Jeff, a lot of people say, I've heard this, the extreme, is that they will actually meet somebody and take somebody off. So I've heard that. That to me is a little bit, I would never spend that much time doing it. So again, the person, are they an influencer? Might be a good question to ask. So for example, if you said to me, for example, everybody I meet at a workshop, so let's say I'm live, I was live with you guys in a room, I would literally have enough business cards to say, please connect with me on LinkedIn. Because what, I've already met you, we already have an association, we already have a relationship. I'm not a stranger, okay? So again, to me, Jeff, your question is actually very, very good because it's got some depth to it, because you can also go out on LinkedIn and start connecting with people and you don't even know them. LinkedIn has some ways that they will stop you from doing that, and you'll get some emails. Did I cover enough in depth for you? So again, for me, I'm real specific. I want them in the mortgage business or in training development. Did I cover that enough? Underwriter and my customer is the loan officer and the consumer. When I speak to the borrowers or realtors, if they're good, the LO will look them up on. Yes, very good. The LO doesn't have to waste their time. Very good, I like it. Excellent. Very, very ignore. Very good. If you have multiple business, you should have more than one. Yeah. Yes. Jeff, to your answer, to your question, excuse me. Yes. The yellow can use as a tool. Salespeople aren't. Wait a minute. Very good. You guys are giving great responses here. I'm trying. I need some more details on this one here. I thought that by connecting you, never know who is looking. I need some more on that one. Never know who's looking for you. Something in the future. Very, very good. That's very good, Ida. Very good insight. And so that is very, very, very true. So again, I think you have to have a strategy with LinkedIn. It goes back to the beginning of the workshop when we talked about goals. So, for example, if your goal is to have, hundreds of connections, well, what good is that if they're not influential? To me, in life, we have acquaintances and influential people that we deal with. So an acquaintance is the person I waved to tonight in my development. I've never met him before, may never meet him. An influencer is somebody that I know can say to somebody, get Roger to do your training. So again, that to me, I look at LinkedIn as a very, very powerful way for me as a trainer to also what? Get known among customers. Yeah, you never know. Any other questions, comments, emotional outbursts? So again, today was really the basics of the power and the networking impact that LinkedIn can have for you. 201, Section 2 and Section 3 will have more and more. And again, please go to our website. We have lots more available, not just for LinkedIn. We have organizational workshops, all types of things, webinars available. I want to thank you very much. Any other questions I can answer? And again, you'll be getting your packet in about an hour. Please, if you have any questions about the versions, the format, please feel free. You guys have my my email. Please feel free to contact me, and I would be more than welcome to walk you through to give you some more guidelines. But again, it should be very, very, very simple on that edit that I went through. And again, we very much appreciate PRMG offering this to all of you today, and for choosing Essent. And by the way, any questions about MI, if you have a loan that needs MI attention, we'd be more than willing to help you on that. There's our corporate headquarters in Radnor, PA. I've been speaking to you from Winston-Salem, and then we have a West Coast office.
Awesome, Roger. Thank you so much.
I got one more question.
Sure, go ahead.
If you connect with Jeff has a good comment. I want to make a comment if you don't mind. If you connect with the competition, that will be harmful to you. That's the risk reward, I think, in LinkedIn, because it goes out to the world. Competition can see it. In fact, I would challenge you. What's fascinating about my life is that I look a lot on the right-hand side, people who viewed your profile, who also viewed, and you'll see competition coming up there. If you wouldn't mind sending the email out to everybody that was on this call, that would be wonderful.
Yes.
And
Yeah,
then if
they
they
will.
have any questions, perfect. I've got 2 or 3 questions. You guys have been great. Thank you very, very much. I hope that you've got at least a basic framework on how to make your LinkedIn better than it is today. And again, any questions, please feel free to shoot me an email, and I'll make the time to help you.
Awesome. Thank you again, Roger. And thank you everyone for joining us today for the Beginner Guide to Using LinkedIn training presented by Roger Ilsley with Essent. As Roger mentioned, a copy of the recording and the presentation slides will be emailed to you in about an hour. And if you have any questions, you can always email prmguniversity@prmg.net. So that concludes our webinar for today. Thank you everyone and have a good day.
Thank you very much. I know.